Now, we're going to talk about Joe Biden in a minute. But first, I wanted to share with you the most shocking thing I have ever heard come out of Nancy Pelosi's mouth. And that is, as we like to say here, setting a pretty low bar already. Now, remember a couple of weeks ago, we talked about this here. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis flew 50 undocumented migrants, the left's preferred term for illegal aliens, to the Democrat-heavy holiday hotspot of Martha's Vineyard. Remember that? All the locals, with their "no human being is illegal" yard signs, lost their minds, and they called in the National Guard to ship them off to a military base within 24 hours. Anyway, the story is not over, because, as if to add insult to hypocrisy, have a listen to what Speaker of the House and box wine bandit Nancy Pelosi had to say about the practice of states like Texas and Florida trying to do them a favor and culturally enrich northern Democrat states with all the vibrancy that comes with 2 million illegals flowing into the country every year.
We have a shortage of workers in our country, and you see even in Florida, some of the farmers and the growers saying, why are you shipping these immigrants up north? We need them to pick the crops down here.
You got that, Pedro? We got to fill this semi-trailer with organic Belgian endives by the end of the day and get it off to Whole Foods by sundown. Chop, chop. Honestly, what an amazing thing for Nancy Pelosi to say. I mean, to hear her tell it. Illegal aliens, migrants, should be off doing illegal alien things like picking crops, not getting in the way of Barack and Michelle when they leave their waterfront compound on the vineyard, because, of course, rising sea levels are for the little people, not new money ex-presidents, after all, when they head into Edgartown for ice cream sundaes at Scoop Shack. Of course, all Pelosi was doing was saying the quiet part loud when it comes to rich progressives and their attitudes towards Hispanic migrants. Now, remember this little gem from 2015 when singer Kelly Osbourne weighed in on Donald Trump's comments about illegal immigrants?
The immigration problem is a problem, and it does need to be addressed, and it does need to be fixed.
Interesting.
But making those comments, those racist comments, do not help.
And if you kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?
Oh, that's no.
In the sense that, no. You know what I mean? Like, when I'm saying
there's more jobs to be.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, did you hear that? That was even too much for those ladies. But, yeah, she went there. And to hear the left tell it, Hispanic migrants are only good for picking fruit and cleaning loos. And remember, though, it's the Republicans who are the racist ones? Come on, pull the other one. It plays La Cucaracha. Anyway, as disgraceful as that is, it's nothing on the cover-up job that is going on thanks to the media over Joe Biden's latest shocking blunder. Have a look at this.
And I want to thank all of you here for including bipartisan elected officials like Representative Governor, Senator Braun, Senator Booker, Representative Jackie. Are you here? Where's Jackie? I didn't think she was going to be here.
Did you hear that? Where's Jackie?
Yeah.
Well, here's the problem. The Jackie he was referring to is, or rather was, Jackie Walorski, a U.S. congresswoman who was tragically killed with 2 of her staffers back in August when an oncoming car veered into her lane. Joe Biden put out a statement of condolence at the time and even called the congresswoman's brother to offer his sympathies. So there is no way that he didn't know that this had happened to the Jackie that he was searching for in the crowd. Yet, we have heard virtually nothing of this from the press, which is desperate to cover for Biden and, let's be fair, spare the world the apocalyptic horror show that would be President Kamala Harris.
How dare you?
It is interesting, though, because, of course, we know how often the press went after Trump and suggested he was mentally unfit and incapable of serving. Yet now they are all but silent on a man who is declining before the eyes of the world. Now, just for fun, I did a little search on the terms Trump and 25th Amendment being the constitutional mechanism by which a president could be removed from office. And I searched for this across the dates of the Donald's entire presidency on the New York Times. Well, what did I find? 247 mentions of the clause that allows the president to be removed from office in connection with Trump. Many of the stories had headlines like, "Right and left react to questions about Trump's mental state," and "How can we get rid of Trump?" From the start of his time in office, in fact, actually right as soon as he was elected, the Times and other self-anointed media elite decided that the people had made the wrong call, but that, don't worry, they would be there to campaign to fix things. Now, though, with an obviously mentally incapacitated Biden at the helm, things are different. I did a similar search for the term Biden and 25th Amendment and found actually 111 articles. So you would think that's a similar number given that the president is halfway through his term. Yet, what were these pieces about? What was their tone? Well, guess what? Trump still lives rent-free in their head. A large number of these pieces are still all about Trump and stuff that came out in the January 6 hearings that mentioned Joe Biden, so they showed up in the search, but were really about efforts to remove his predecessor. And indeed, other stories were downright Soviet, modeled on the sort of reporting we would hear about Soviet premiers. I mean, take this one. Biden declared healthy and vigorous after his first presidential physical. Yeah, right. Okay, now, that story ran on November 19 last year, just 8 months after the famous incident where Joe Biden managed to fall up the stairs of Air Force One. And it was less than 3 weeks after Joe Biden came out with this pearl of wisdom.
A little expression, time is money. As one computer said, if you're on the train and they say Portal Bridge, you know you better make other plans.
Right? I mean, like, he's making total sense there. Anyway, I don't know who the doctors were who certified the president as healthy, but maybe those guys are the ones who should be sent to pick crops and scrub the toilet.